Hey, what's up, guys? You're watching my YouTube channel, Staying Alive with Saad, and I don't make videos on a regular basis, so this is a bit awkward, to set this thing up and look at the camera and screen over here, my face. So, I don't make videos on a regular basis. I mean, but I felt the need to make this one because recently, we heard the news of passing off, pro wrestling icon Hulk Hogan has recently passed away. That's the sad news for all the wrestling fans, just like me. You know, I mean, for all the people who grew up in the 80s and 90s, watch, wrestling, WCW, Monday Night Wars. It was a big part, a integral part of, pro wrestling entertainment. You know, and I want to share my story about Hulk Hogan. I mean, if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, I wouldn't be a wrestling fan. Let's face it. I mean, I'm a 2000s kid. I was born in the late 90s, So I want to say, my memories with Hulk Hogan. My father, he wasn't a huge wrestling fan, but he was a Hogan fan. He loved Hogan, and that's what Hulk Hogan, has impact in this business of pro wrestling. And he made me watch this movie called Suburban Commando and VHS tape collection. This was back in 2002. We still didn't have DVD. We were watching, is VHS tape cassettes. So I watched the movie Suburban Commando and I was hooked up. The first time I saw who Hulk Hogan was exactly. Well, I didn't grow up in the 80s and 90s watching Hulk Hogan in WWE making a global shift, making global phenomena, and making making an NWO in the 90s. So I wasn't around that time, but I watched this movie and I was hooked. I became a wrestling fan, Hogan fan, and even 2002. First match I saw it was against Rock in WrestleMania. This is WrestleMania Rewind, the summer of 2002. So I was really hooked up watching the way Hogan they were tied up with the Rock and pushed him all the way up in the to the corner, and and flexing his big muscle, big 24-inch python. The first time I saw Hogan wrestling up, and he looked way bigger than the Rock, let's be honest. And it's really sad when I found out the news on 24th of July that really he passed away, and he has a back problems, a lot of his pain, and with watching him, I really didn't like him, supporting Trump in the rally, all kind of things. But, you have to face it. I mean, it wasn't for Hogan, we wouldn't watching WWE, Raw, SmackDown, having action figure toys. He made us, he brought our new generation of fans. He was a huge impact, making wrestling a pop culture phenomena. Nobody can deny that. So, as a big wrestling fan, so I mean, if whoever is a big wrestling fan is a big Hogan fan first, and I really feel sad, about this. So I paid tribute to Hogan. There would be no WWE movies, action figure toys, shirts, nothing, no WrestleManias. So we're all gonna really miss him, and so that's my tribute to Hogan. I wish I could meet him, So I never thought this would happen. We will see the end of an era. We can all, cherish and appreciate the time we had while he was here, and not being, rude to him. But I can see the fans are really appreciative of him. On social media, some of the fans, and have paid tribute to him. AEW has also paid tribute to Hulk Hogan. Watched the SmackDown, 10 bell salute given to Hogan, and it's a very pretty good job done by Triple H. And I would just like to say, and I also seen Maven's video paying tribute to Hogan. It was really cool. So I'll just say thanks Hogan for all the wonderful memories, and for making wrestling what it is today. So if you like this video, please pick comments in my video if you really love this video, and thanks. Goodbye, Hulk Hogan.